Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to TCR Season 8 and the Platinum Class. My name is JB and I'll be taking you through tonight's proceedings, but I'm not on my own. For the first time, I am joined by a new face in commentary. Yes, Dre decided that he was sick and tired of me after only 1 week, so we'll be seeing him again hopefully soon. But D'Angelo, welcome to the Platinum Comps box. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. It's my first Platinum race to commentate this season. You might know me from Silver, but I'm happy to be here tonight, replacing Dre in his sickness.
Oh, he's sick, is he? I don't get told any information. I just get told, this is the person you're with. But, now, me and D'Angelo have been sitting here bonding, as you often do when you start a commentary booth with someone, and already, controversy has struck in this Grand Prix, hasn't it? Even more now with the fact that Giant Alex Johnson has retired from the session. But controversy has struck after there was apparent contact between Lopez and Porridge, which has resulted in Lopez receiving a 5-place grid drop. So he will be dropped 5 places after the finishing results of qualifying. And D'Angelo, already, this is a big problem for the Haas driver, isn't it?
Yes, it's a very big problem for the Haas driver. I mean, he's had a good lap, but that's not going to mean anything because he's going to drop down 5 places. So, it's still it might ruin his race, but if he has the pace in the race, he can still get up. But it's a tough track to overtake on.
Most definitely. But before we do anything else, I'm going to ask D'Angelo to go through last week's race finishing positions, which are also the current championship standings. D'Angelo, take it away, my friend.
Alright, the results from last week are your winner of the Bahrain GP was Seafreeze with AA in second, and then Badfast in P3, followed by Gijo Breezy in P4, Alex in P5, Porridge in P6, Xandermar in P7, Roll in P8 with the fastest lap, Hotbread in P9, Fatal in a P10, and then GTR P11, Sean P12, Lopez P13, Psycho P14, Talon P15, Go-To Guy P16, Jones P17, Jeremiah P18, and with the only DNF in the race, Professional in P19.
Yes, a few drivers. Thank you for going through that for us. A few drivers not here tonight. Noticeably, Jonesy is not here tonight, which is a bit odd, and thank you, B, for noticing that. Obviously, I can't notice all these things. I turn up, I do commentary, I have a coffee, and have a nice chat, which is basically my Thursday and Friday morning. But before we do anything else, Bella, have you ever heard that Fanatec sponsors TCR? D'Angelo?
Yes, I have. We do a sponsor deal. If you want to help support the league, you can get a Fanatec rig, help support us, and it mainly helps support us to keep this league going, and maybe we can keep improving the league and do more special events throughout the different seasons that we do.
Most definitely. So the link will be in the description of the stream shortly after it has been uploaded and processed. Thank you to all of the people that maintain TTR and to Fanatec for sponsoring this fantastic league. I'm so happy to be a part of it. And you've said to me, while the mics were off, that you had a little bit less time last season. But are you happy to be back in full time as a racing driver at TCR?
I'm very happy to be back full time. I mean, I did some races here and there, but I had mainly had to skip some of them because of work and school and all that stuff. But I'm back for this season full time, especially hopefully next season. But because the spring's very very busy for me. But this season I'm going for the Golden Class Championship as I finished in P3 yesterday. So that's a good start to my season after a horrible start in Bahrain. But it should be a good season for me going down the line.
Well, congratulations on your podium. But we should look now towards the Platinum class. Obviously, this is the highest level of TCR drivers. Drivers that drive with no assist, racing lines sometimes on, racing lines sometimes off, depending on your choice. Right now, current championship leader C3 is in P1 ahead of AA in P2. Lopez is in P3, but remember, with that penalty, he will be dropped to P8 on the grid, as we see a couple of drivers out on track. Now, this track, we're at Australia, if you can't tell. This track is difficult, isn't it, D'Angelo?
This track is very difficult. It's more of a strategy track. It's very hard to overtake, especially in certain places. But if you can get a good strategy down and you still have good pace throughout the race for undercuts, overcuts, basically anything through strategy, you can get anything done on this track.
Truly can, and it's one of those courses that you Americans would call a road course, as it is a track built on the roads but isn't really a street circuit, because there's part of it that is road, part of it that is track. It's really confusing with it. It's like Montreal. It's a track, which is also a road, which is also a big pain in my backside when I'm trying to commentate and drive on it. But we're currently looking at Talon in the Toro Rosso. Had a drastic first race, and he immediately displaces Breezy, the current champion, to go to P3. This is looking very strong for the Toro Rossos at this track, isn't it?
Yes, it's looking very strong with a 1-3 qualifying right now. See if Freeze is now on his hot lap, maybe he can improve his time to build that gap from AA. But right now the Toro Rossos are looking very strong for the start of the race.
This will be interesting. These are the final couple of laps, though, of qualifying. And we have Lion in the barriers right now in Sector 3. He's lost it at the 14-15 chicane. A very difficult corner where we've seen drivers like Timo Glock lose it and crash. And the Williams is sat here waiting to try and find a gap in the traffic. He's just folding a little bit up as he tries to find a place where he can spin around. The man running a very Robert Kubica-esque helmet with the red and the black. So Lion, he's now got moving and he's now out on track, but I think that's qualifying over for the Williams driver, which is harsh to say, the only Williams on the track tonight. No, sorry, the first Williams. The second Williams is currently in P17. Do apologise on that notion. What are you looking at, D'Angelo?
What did you say?
What are you looking at?
You? Sorry.
You can't understand me. It's all right. What are you looking at on track right now?
Looking at Talon, if sounds like he's going into the pits, but AA, I'm looking at his lap right now. 1/10 up in the first sector. He's got rolling traffic on his way, but Roll gets out of his way at the moment.
Let's have a look at what AA can see. Do excuse me as I sip my coffee at the same time. It's very late. Oh, did you see that slight sideways action on the rear, on the steering wheel as we cut on board with him? He just had to kick the car a little bit to make sure that he didn't crash. Lion retiring from the session. Well, we knew that was coming. Well, what can AA do? Is he going to improve and pass C3 to take pole position in this Grand Prix? He was very quick. The Hungarian-born driver racing under a Canadian. That's not an accent. The Canadian license. Canadian, yes. Goes straight up to P1.
And he goes fastest.
C3 is not on his lap. He's not. He's 3 temps down in Sector 1. Heading into Sector 2, he's 2 temps down. It's all in Sector 3. Can he improve on this lap time? I don't believe he can. There's a big smash, though, for the AI. I think it's the AI, but there was a big smash. There's a couple of drivers out at the turns 14-15 chicane. 2 temps down still. And it is International Cat Day. I do love International. I do have cats. I have 2 cats, actually. And I have a cat tattooed on me. So yes, International Cat Day is over though in England as DRS opens. C3 is absolutely slicing through. I don't think it's going to be enough. It's going to be really close though, and he's just off by a tenth. It's off, so it is currently AA on pole, and it is going to be AA. The Renault driver is going to be on pole position for this round 2 of the TCR Season 8 Championship. Round 2 out of 15. And what a race this is going to be.
This is going to be a very interesting race, especially in the turn 1. If you watched Golden yesterday, there was carnage yesterday.
That's Golden for you. Let's see what these drivers can do though. So by 4/400ths of a second, C3 is beaten to pole position by the Canadian Hungarian of AA. Talon is in P3, Be Good Fever is in P4, and Breezy, the champion, is in P5. Lopez with the drift drop is currently in P6. He will drop to P11. Go-To Guy is in P7, Bad Fast is in P8, Psycho San is in P9, and Giant Alex Johnson is in P10. Outside of the top 10 over 3 tire choices, Zandamar in P11, Porridge in P12, Fatal in P13, iRoll in P14, Lion in P15, Germain in P16, Hotbread in P17. Whew, made it to the end. You know how difficult that is when you see the little timer pop up in the corner?
You gotta get it all out fast.
I can go faster normally, but it's whether everyone can understand what I'm saying. I sound like a horse race commentator. So it's like I'm an auctioneer. I'm just going to auction off a driver. So we're heading on to the race. It looks like it's going to be a particularly dry race, though. strategy-wise, is it going to be a one-stop or a two-stop? I know you've raced here 2 nights ago, or was it last night?
It was last night, and
Last
I
night,
pulled
yes.
off. You can pull off two one stops if you so choose. You can either pull off a soft to hard one stop. You can either pull off a soft to medium hot stop. Myself, I pulled off the soft to hard one stop just so I could push more at the end of the race. But I still feel like if you want to get fat, like if you want to stay fast throughout mainly the first 2/3 of the race, the soft to mediums is going to be your shot because you could just move up positions, but you're going to be struggling at the end of the race for tire grip. That's why the soft to hards is that you won't be struggling for as much tire grip if you go from softs to mediums. And the hard you can just keep pushing until really your tires are dead at the end of the race.
The difficulty is as well, this track is incredibly hard to overtake at. So there's only a few real overtaking opportunities. We head onto the formation lap now. Double A leading us away for the first time in season 5, I believe. Season 8. You guys have raced for longer than I have. But yeah, this is going to be interesting. Obviously, with the championship leader, he wants to build a gap early in the season, doesn't he? He's starting in P2. I think C3 is going to be definitely right there for the win, but you cannot discount his teammate talent or Be Good or even last season's champion, who started outside of the top 10 last week in Bahrain, and he made it to a position which I believe was about 5th or 4th, was it?
Yes, it was in the top. It was, I believe, in the top 6 as I pull it up again right now. Yes, Gijo Breezy finished in P4, but it doesn't say where he started.
He started outside the top 10, I can tell you that now, because I was sat there thinking, ooh, is he actually going to do this, or is this the season where we see him struggle? Obviously, C3 is looking for his 3rd championship in TCR. You see the Alfa Romeo of Go-To Guy having a little bit of fun with the rear end there, the Canadian driver. It's interesting to see how different people take different interpretations of warming up their tyres on the lap. Look how close Bad Fast is, for instance, following on behind Go-To Guy.
He's following very close. You're supposed to at least give him 10 car lengths, but no one's doing that.
You want to get round there, ready to start racing once more in TCR. It still doesn't feel like a week. Sorry, if I can actually get my words out and put my teeth in. It feels like I was just commentating here yesterday. It is incredibly late for me. It's currently, I don't know what time it is for you, D'Angelo, but it's currently 20 to 2 in the morning for me.
Wow, it's only 7:41 where I am at the moment.
It's very different, and yet we all end up coming here with one love, and that is TCR racing. And who doesn't love a bit of TCR? It's one of the highlights of my week to sit here at silly o'clock commentating over racing cars and drinking a coffee when I should be asleep.
Yeah, I love this league so much. I've been in it since season 6, and I just can't stop. It's super fun.
Hello, Breezy. So as we head towards lights out, who are you going to be looking at, D'Angelo, quickly before we get to 5 red lights?
I got Seafreeze winning it. That's about it as we go.
The lights are out, the drivers are away now. It's a good start from C3 and P2. On the second stage, though, it seems that Double A is having a better run. There's a Racing Point in the background having a great start. And then you see the Alfa Romeo of Go-To Guy trying to find a gap. And it seems okay, but there is carnage. It's Fatal. Fatal and Jermaine running a little bit wide. They almost get pinched towards one another. And Lopez obviously starting lower down. Alex Johnson, struggling there as he tries to back out and move. Remember, there's a lot of contact already into turn 4, and this shows how tight this track really is as they head up towards sector 2 for the first time. Fatal dropping down. There's Hot Break actually ghosting through him there, which was very odd to see as the Williams decided to be the Ghost of Williams pass there. Looking to the outside though, Fatal, an aggressive move though, an aggressive shutdown as Iroh gets shifted down. 17 drivers on the grid tonight as they go side by side. There is contact actually, and they all looking to find a gap already on these early laps. Guys, remember, you've still got 29 laps of racing. Keep going.
Big train between P10, P9, and P15, it seems like. And someone's chip of the front wing blew off.
Oh, it's Giant Johnson. That's a long name. Can't say that when I'm drunk. Giant Johnson, he just decided to be a lawnmower because he does have a Honda engine in there. And there you see Lopez battling on with Jermaine, the Ferrari. We're looking at the back of the grid. There's so much going on at the front as well.
Yes, double makes a little mistake coming out of turn, what I believe is 16.
The
Gets a
cat
little wheel
puns.
spin.
The cat puns in the chat are fantastic right now. So looking out, Go to Guy making a mistake as well. Here comes Mr. Psycho San, the Portuguese driver, looking to overtake the Canadian as quickly as possible. Looking to go into overtake. He's used half of his ERS bar already, trying to go round the outside. But the Mercedes cannot make it room. The Alfa Romeo, very difficult to overtake at this track, as Lando Norris found out in the real Formula 1 race. But Bad Fast trying to go around the outside of the McLaren again. The McLaren struggling, and they're skimming the grass as Go-To Guy. Sorry to cut the camera so quickly, but Porridge has had an accident. Porridge is round somewhere. And Giant Alex is in the pit lane. Porridge is... I tell you what, his gearbox does not sound healthy right now. It seems that we have a gearbox issue on the Renault. As now Steve Freeze starts to close down the leader at the top. What a frantic couple of laps from the drivers there, D'Angelo.
Yes, very chaotic, especially towards the back of the pack. But it's Bad Fast and Gijo going into turn 13 or 13, I believe.
Big lockup from Breezy there as he tries to control the McLaren. That McLaren is very difficult on the braking, as we found out throughout the season. And Bad Fast is so close. That Mercedes, it looks like it's almost got a parachute whenever it starts braking. And it's Iroll who's made a mistake. Iroll is somewhere, and he has span. But Steve Freeze now the fastest man on track. Iroll luckily not collecting the Renault of Porridge as he spins back on track, and DRS has been enabled as we have entered lap 3 of this Grand Prix.
If Steve Freeze keeps behind him, he's going to get a run once they hit that first DRS zone on this lap that they can actually use. He's just right on Double A's gearbox.
The dirty air is not affecting that Toro Rosso at all. He's driving that car as if it's an Indy car with a single body kit, isn't he?
Yeah, he's driving it very aggressive. He's still losing a little time in the technical sections, but in a straight line, he's on his gearbox.
Very interesting to see whether the Toro Rosso Honda can outpace the Renault in that Renault. And right now, he doesn't seem to be able to at this moment in time here. Going back on board, though, with Bad Fast as he goes run, though, by Go-To Guy, trying to go up and past him. And he has, in fact, passed him on the run towards the fast chicane. What a brilliant camera angle there as we see the Alfa Romeo slide through, passing the Merc. The Merc now under pressure from his own teammate.
Now
and
Psycho coming up behind him.
He's in a bit of trouble. Something's wrong with Bad Fast's car right there, isn't he? And Go-To Guy making a big mistake now as he has to avoid coming back on track, and with an unsafe rejoin, he almost makes contact with both Mercedes drivers. I tell you what, Double A still leads this race as we head into lap 4 of the Grand Prix.
But Seafree's getting a run. He's going to have a good run coming out of turn 2.
Can he carry it, though? Can he carry the speed? What can the Toro Rosso do with Japanese power in the back versus the French power of the Canadian-Hungarian
Here we go.
driver?
He's going to go around the outside.
Oh, and Giant Alex Johnson
Alex
is
is
out in Sector 3. I don't think we're going to get a camera angle on that. But that's a shame because he was incredibly quick in Bahrain. Seemed to struggle this race. But, and yeah, I don't think the Red Bull driver's happy at all. The only Red Bull...
Virtual safety car's out. This is going to play into Seafreeze's hands right at the start, right at the end of it.
I'm so glad the virtual safety car actually exists in this game, because the amount of races I've done, it has not actually even turned up.
Oh, you should have been in my race last night. We had 4 DNFs and only 1 VSC, not even a full-blown safety car last night. So
while we're under the full course yellow, let's run through our top 10 quickly. Double A is in P1 ahead of C3's in P2. Talon is in P3, so they're running in formation. Be Good Fever is in P4, and we're back to Green Flag Racing, so I can only do 4 as Joe Breezy is in P5. Psycho-San is in P6, Bad Fast is in P7, Go-To Guy is in P8, Zandamar is in P9, and Lopez, making up for the grid penalty, is currently in P10.
Seafreeze might get a good run. He saved his ERS during that VSC, but is it going to give him enough pace to get him in between turn 1 and 2?
I want an award for International Cat Day Meow in the chat right now, because he's making, well, are making fantastic puns about whatever we're saying, such as, and I quote, "It's a clawful day for Giant Alex Johnson." Or Giant Johnson Alex. It's like butcher names. Now back with the leaders though. What can C3 do? He has saved the ERS as you said, but it isn't really helping him because Zandamar passed by Lopez. And now, still going side by side into the very technical sector. Look at the respect that they gain between each other now. This corner, very difficult. And there you see Zandamar just knowing that
he... wide.
I think Zandamar there knew that he couldn't carry too wide through that very particular needle, eye of the needle. There we go. Because you have to thread that very difficultly. And he managed to just bail out. He will have another run, though, on Lopez as they head towards the very, very quick chicane. Always checking in with the leaders right now as they are only 4 tenths away from each other.
They keep increasing this gap. It's going to be just a 2-man show for the win.
Anything can happen in Formula 1, and it usually does. We could have a safety car. We could have a mass disconnection. Who knows? Who can predict what will happen?
Gets a little wheel spin, gets a bad exit. Doesn't affect him as he still decreases that gap.
Well, speaking of worst exits, Biga Fever skimming the grass on the way into turn 1, and now Joe Breezy to the inside. And the Racing Point has no answer, but he will have an answer now because the McLaren ran wide at 2, and now he has to go for the attack once more.
But Breezy's battling back again.
He had the DRS there, and he's trying to go around the outside. We saw this almost happen as the 28 car is battling side by side with the 24.
Oh, the
24 leaving him no room. Here's Mr. Psycho Sans view. They do go side by side. Biga Fever loses the rear end on the curb, and Psycho Sans.
And here comes both Mercedes.
Oh, there's contact. And there's even more contact as Biga really isn't going to give up that position easily, is he?
No, he's not. He made some mistakes in that sector, but now he's got 2 Mercedes coming up behind him.
We know how quick both Mercedes drivers are. They are looking for blood as they come through towards here. I'm going to do a little plug in a moment for the fact that TCR are now running a podcast, a post-race conference for all of the drivers tonight. Whoa! As we see Mr. Psycho making a mistake, letting his teammates through because that mistake was very costly. Is Go-To Guy going to actually make the move as well? Go-To Guy is having a try. I just can't do plugs with this, guys. These guys just want to race. Let's talk about the racing rather than the plugs. Look at that. Again,
he's getting a good run. He's going to go around the outside in turn 1.
There you see, round the outside. Oh, he's been shoved off by the Renault.
Shuts the door.
He didn't shut the door. He shut the door and he pushed him out the window. But now you see Jermaine attacking Fatal, but Fatal has been the one to make the move rather than the other way around. And now we see Badfast again racing all around the place as Badfast tries to go round the outside as his teammate attempted to of the Racing Point of Biga Fever, and Biga Fever having to give up this time as the 46 car goes around the outside and then follows in, and they have to follow through single file towards the technical second sector.
If Badfast and Psycho are being team players tonight, their strategy should be Badfast backing Biga into Psycho to get that other position for more points.
I think it'll be questionable to really do that this early on in the season, but nonetheless, we don't know what Mercedes are thinking. There might be a call from Toto Wolff saying, get out of the way, we need you to slow the driver down. But obviously, whatever they do, it runs the risk of Go-To Guy being the one to overtake rather than Psycho-san, as Go-To Guy is looking incredibly racy in his Alfa Romeo.
Yes, as we see Seafreeze going to get a nice run out of turn 16.
Back with the leaders now with DRS. Here comes Seafreeze trying to go back around the outside. He tried this last lap,
outside again,
and it didn't happen. Is he going to try and get underneath him?
Not going to try to get underneath him, but he's going to go around the outside with DRS going into turn 4.
They touch, they do, they guide each other round, and then they're heading in here. We've seen how this happens.
Has the inside line.
Oh, they don't want to give up the positions, and he has to bail out of it. That was suicidal to have gone too wide through there as Jermaine loses. Jermaine's out the race! Jermaine out of the race.
Safety car here.
I believe we should do, but I don't know if the game will allow that because he's right in the middle of a track with his tyre exposed. Here comes I-Roll, and he does pass. There is no safety car.
It should be a VSC.
No, nothing at all, because it would have come out by now. Thanks, Codemasters. I won't stop bashing them. We need to get a new company doing this. Anyway, Double A now with a time penalty.
Double A has a 3-second time penalty.
And that will... Sorry. Sorry, International Cat Day decided to comment again. I'm going to read it aloud when I get a second. Sorry, D'Angelo. But yes, Double A has got a time penalty there. And I can't stop laughing at that comment. But he goes to pit lane. They both go to pit lane. Were they preempting a safety car? Because now Talon will be leading the race from P3.
It's all about the faster pit stop here as they're right behind each other.
We'll have a look now. We're going to jump on board with C3.
Double A already gets out.
Yeah, Toro Rosso, I think they're losing time. They have been held, and they have released. He's lost a bit. He's lost a chunk of time in that pit stop, hasn't he? Look at that.
So everybody who goes through now passes the two main leaders for this race.
Lots of drivers struggling on in this race. Lap 9 out of 29. We still have another 21 laps in this race. So we could see anything happening. 2 DNFs. Giant Ollie. Who's Giant Ollie? Giant Johnson, Alex, and Jermaine. 2 DNFs. The sole Ferrari and the sole Red Bull will take no further part in this race as Iroll pits. As Iroll got a damage to his front nose. No, it didn't look like he did.
If you are the Renault team, as Porridge lets Double A go through to try to hold up Seafreeze.
Chad joining in with the cat puns. I'm liking this. This is great. Can it be International Cat Day every day? We need more puns. Oh, Porridge though, clouting that curb. Absolutely like a clout. He clouted it, and his rear end decided to slide out as we see Talon now pit as a response. But Porridge is not going to be nice here. He's not going to let Steve Freeze through at all, is he?
No, he's not. He's not going to let Freeze through.
And he's got a different strategy.
All Double A needs to do is just stay ahead of Freeze and keep a 3-second gap.
So the 3-second time penalty could affect the end result of this race, or it could mean that Seafreeze might end up with another time penalty, pushing as hard as he can to try and pass him. But right now the Alfa Romeos are 1-2 in this race, as now you see Seafreeze pulling to the outside, trying to overtake the Renault as he did earlier on. His teammate is, wow, that's blatantly decided to hold him up there, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Porridge's job coming down from the Renault team boss right now. Just take out Seafreeze for the rest of the. Well, don't take him out, but hold him up until Double A can make a gap.
Yes, Cyril Abitable has told Porridge, and that. Oh, you see how hard Seafreeze is pushing with that big oversteer moment. But he's told him to stay in front of that Toro Rosso for as long as you can. Oh, Seafreeze though! Ooh, that almost ended in Seafreeze's race being done. That was almost a collision with the wall. What a fantastic race. It's Hot Bread.
Fatal and Hot Bread battling.
Trying to go around the outside is Hot Bread. Oh, that's a big hit to the front wing. No damage though as they still go side by side.
Oh, and there goes Hot Bread almost spinning out.
He did well to hold that. I think save of the season so far. And there comes the Renault and the Toro Rosso. More people going defensive as Fatal.
Fatal has something wrong.
I think I know exactly what happened there. Fatal slowed down to let Hot Bread through because he must have thinks that he hit him. Is Seafreeze going to try down the inside of Porridge? He is going to think about it, but he's got to think about the Williams on his outside, and he does show his teeth in mouth. There we go. He does shove the Williams off track. The Williams team will be on to the Toro Rosso team going, what was that? Don't do that again. I ran out of puns at that point. I do apologise.
Porridge on these 10-lap mediums. He will pit soon.
I think it's Hot Bread who's on 10-lap old soft tyres who's getting the award for best tyre life right now in the Williams.
Yep, but once he pits, he's not going to be in a good spot.
Yeah, and I think that move there, just considering it got close to moving in the braking zone there, DRS is in effect, as now you see Fatal trying to resume the battle that they had before, and there you see in the distance, Seafreeze still cannot overtake the Renault, and Fatal has run wide.
Fatal goes wide, spins!
And there's Talon, he's out the race! Talon's still driving, Fatal's still driving, but Talon will probably get told off by the stewards there for reversing into traffic. And Fatal is going to be holding his head in his hands. That was entirely his mistake, running out wide and sliding into the Toro Rosso's path. As now you see a change for third place. Seafreeze dropping past Porridge. His time is done. And now Seafreeze can focus on trying to attack the other Renault.
But Porridge trying to battle back.
More cat puns for me to enjoy. As you see, Badfast and
and Gijo.
So Breezy doing his best to overtake, and he has in fact done it. Ooh, that's just leveled up the race. The race has just been leveled out. I mean, D'Angelo, we're just over halfway through this Grand Prix, or we're around the halfway mark sometime because numbers. How are you feeling at this point in the Grand Prix with these tyres? You've obviously stopped. You know you're going to go basically one stop it. Are you just thinking race as hard as you can at this point?
You can either race as hard as you can, but if you race as hard as you can now, your tires are going to be dead for if you need to make the final push. So it's going to be tougher at the end. What I did yesterday is that I did the racing thing early on in my stint, but it killed my tire, so I couldn't push at the end when the car is lighter with
mistake from Joe Breezy. Joe Breezy running out wide, but he's okay. He's still carrying on in that McLaren. But Badfast might have the run now on the dirty tired McLaren as Porridge does pit. Sorry to cut you off there, my friend.
It's okay. But as we see this battle between Breezy and Bad, I still think Freeze should still push, but not over push, as I think Double A is doing right now.
Do you think Double A hasn't realised that Seafreeze has also got a time penalty now?
No, he does. I don't think he's realized he has one. So he's still thinking to push the gap further. So that'll ruin his tires in the end.
With the amount of people running wide, as I scratch my beard, the amount of people running wide in this race. Sector 3, we have a yellow flag. I believe that's Fatal.
It is Talon.
Oh, it's Talon. Talon spinning. There's damage on the nose of the Toro Rosso. And that's a big accident there. And he had pace as well. Is this his race over?
I mean, he's about to get lapped by his teammate Double A and Xander.
Badfast has actually made the move on Joe Breezy. It's Talon. That's enough. Done. He's taking his helmet off and he's thrown at and Biga Fever with a time penalty. There is a question in the chat though, which is fantastic. And I will actually ask this in the podcast after the race in the post-race conference. Are F1 esports drivers cathletes? Cat athletes?
I don't know.
Talon's not happy. He's had a tough start to the season. Remember, there is 15 rounds in this season of TCR as we're looking at Mr. Psycho-san closing up to Be Good Fever, who has a time penalty. 15 rounds plus the big Monaco extravaganza that's coming up. Are you excited for that event?
Very excited to see the new let's say layout for this Monaco Grand Prix that we're doing this season. Hopefully if it does well, it stays in other seasons, but I'm very excited because it's the first time we've implemented something like this.
Joe Breezy with a time penalty as well to his name. I think it's really interesting because it's like the Indy 500. TCR's equivalent of the Indy 500 event, you know? It's double points. It's a massive event which will encompass 2 weeks of TCR. And I will be there commentating. Don't you worry. I'm there commentating. I have no idea how good I'll be at commentating with that, but I will try my hardest. And that's why I rely on my American colleagues, such as you, D'Angelo.
Thank you. Hopefully I can be there. Maybe we'll have a bunch of commentators for it. I don't know.
I think we should have if we're having a special event, we should have some special commentators. C3s, he can't. He's raced here for God knows how long. He's double champion. Maybe he shouldn't race in that event.
I kind of wish we were doing it with all the other classes, but I can see why they're only doing it with Platinum. As Golden and Silver will get an off week that week, as we see this battle between Psycho and Be Good heating up, and Lopez right behind him.
Yeah, Lopez trying to make up for lost time due to the qualifying mishap. Again, we have no idea what happened there, so it'd be interesting to see what the drivers will say. It'd be interesting to see if I could actually have a word with one of the drivers later on. I cannot remember who's on the as Lion is battling Porridge, who's on the podcast this week. I know it's the winner of this race, and I know Seafreeze will probably be there. Let me find out for you as D'Angelo can take us through what's happening with Porridge and Lion right now for P10.
Porridge is still 1/10 behind him as he loses time, but he's going to get a nice run going into turn 10. Turn 9 and 10, I'm sorry. Doesn't get it done there, but Lion's gonna try to defend the inside line, but Porridge has the straight line speed, and Porridge overtakes him into the 11 and 12 chicane. Well done. Oh, and Lion goes spinning.
Lion does an absolute wonder to keep that car in the barriers. He's going to have to be known as the man who cannot crash right now, because he's doing fantastic, isn't he?
Yes, he's doing very good keeping that car out of the wall. But now his tire temps are dead. Does he pit here?
Double Eight once more into the race lead from Zandamar, who's struggling on the rear tyres. I believe he's the one with the dead tyres as well. Mr. Psycho-san attacking Be Good. The drivers on the podcast this week are Bad Fast and I believe I just looked. I know Bad Fast is on it. I think it's Be Good as well. Bad Fast and Fatal, sorry. So Bad Fast and Fatal will be on the podcast tonight, plus one other driver and the race winner will be here to have a chat with me after the race and probably keep me awake for a little bit longer. Lopez, though, on the attack of Mr. Psycho-san. Zandamar dropping behind Seafreeze. Ooh, Lopez touching the back of Psycho-san. You don't want to do that too much, do you, D'Angelo?
You don't have to do too much. Sorry, those sounds.
You don't want to touch the back of another car with your front wing too many times.
No, you don't, because up sector 3 though. But
Fatal's
out.
It's in pit lane. He's chosen to retire.
But as I was saying, you never want to touch it too many times because it could lead into a penalty or both of you crashing out of the race by one of you spinning into the other. As sector 1 yellow flag. Yeah,
that'll be Fatal's car pulling onto the track to retire, and that is actually going to absolutely knacker Breezy's chance of trying to overtake Bad Fast. These two have been battling since last season, and I don't think they're ever going to stop. As you look on at these guys, right now there's a 1.6 second gap at the top, and remember, with both these drivers having 3 second time penalties, this can be the race right here. They have to make it work. Lap 17 out of 29.
Breeze trying to push as hard as he can without ruining his tires, but I still think Double A has ruined his tires for the end.
Ooh, I have some controversial news.
Yes.
Talon put some few emojis in the Discord chat. And then I see Fatal commenting straight after and saying sorry at Talon. So there might have been a bit of argy-bargy between Talon and Fatal before they were said to retire. Bad Fast though lose the position to Breezy. Oh, only just they touched. Very good catch for both those drivers as they interlock rear tyre to front tyre. The 46 car is now behind the 24 car. Look at that fantastic run though. Bad Fast has got some amazing pace. And look at that also at the top. Seafreeze is getting even faster. As now you see Breezy going defensive. But Bad Fast now trying to... Ooh, that's... how many movements was there, D'Angelo? Or did you not see?
He tried to go around the outside, but Breezy just shut the door. It was a fair move by Breezy as he shuts the door again.
Gaps are falling as the track gets more rubbered in and the cars get lighter. The more cat puns. I mean, this is going to be renamed the Cat Pun Grand Prix. So Fatal's teammate is Lopez, and he's trying to make up for the qualifying results. If he can get to, I think, P6, maybe P5, he'll got to where he would have qualified in the race, in the qualifying session. And I think he'll be a little bit more happy with that, won't he?
Yeah, he's very happy with coming from P11 and dropping back at the start, but then also going to where he originally qualified before they applied the 5-place grid penalty.
Well, he's got past Psycho-san because Psycho-san's in the wall. So the Portuguese driver, he looked loose the whole race round, and now he's driving with half a front wing. I believe that's a trip to pit lane for the Portuguese man in the Merc. And also the gravel if he's not careful.
But Freeze,
oh,
here we go. Freeze is getting a nice run.
Zandamar finally into pit lane, and now C Freeze is thinking, right, round 2, let's try this again. With 11 laps to go, is this going to be an 11 lap battle, or is this going to be done? Is this going to be one and done?
It might be one and done, or it might last the 11 laps. But like I said earlier, Double A's tires will probably be dead before this race is over, because still doesn't think he knows that Seafreeze has a penalty, so he just kept pushing, trying to build a gap, and now his tires are going to be dead.
Is very interested to see how sensitive the Pirelli tyres are as Psycho-San's still in pit lane after repairing that front wing. Here's Porridge on Zandamar. Zandamar has just pitted for the soft compound of tyres, so he's going for the fastest lap point in P8 right now, which will be good because you'll take it away from whoever's got it right now. We'll have a look at who has the fastest lap just now. The fastest lap, oh, that's the wrong one. The fastest lap is Seafreeze with a 124.8. Well, I forget how to use the system. The what is this called? Spectator system. I do apologise. I've run out of words sometimes.
Freeze has DRS going to turn 1. Straight line speed heaven for him right now.
I think that Renault's got some pace on its own though, hasn't it? It doesn't need DRS. It's just damn quick. But now we're going to see him look for the move. Round the outside. He's not fully alongside, so he has no obligation. There is contact there. And Seafreeze's car did not enjoy that, did it?
No, it did not. Seafreeze also doesn't want to keep battling because he knows his tires will die at some point too if the battling keeps up.
So, lap 20 out of 29. We have 10 laps remaining. This is getting more fun, isn't it?
This is getting a lot more fun as we watch this battle between the two leaders.
Go with a time penalty in P7. So that will affect him, but not entirely right now. I think it will be more effective with the fact that his teammates coming on soft tyres. We'll see them battling later on, I believe, and we're seeing Seafreeze get closer, but he's also going with the time penalty. But Seafreeze is going 5 tenths slower than his predicted time in the second sector. I wonder if those tyres are starting to feel a bit worn now. Oh, he's struggling
wide a little bit.
That rear end's not looking happy on the Toro Rosso Honda at all, is it?
No, it's not.
So bad fast now. What can the Mercedes do? Does it have anything that the McLaren doesn't have? I think, to be honest, the McLaren has so much speed. It's just there, you know?
Yeah, doesn't seem like Bad has the straight line speed that he wants compared to Breezy.
Meanwhile, the gap at the top still a steady 4 or 5 tenths as they slide through Double A, having a bit of sideways action there on the steering wheel as he tries his hardest. Porridge with a time penalty in P8, P9. Do apologise as I can't read numbers anymore.
Hot Bread with a penalty now. We get a run towards the chicane.
Other chocolate bars are available. Just helping out the International Cat Day as Mr. Psycho-San
gets fastest lap.
Now Seafreeze going to the outside. And he's there, he's wide. Ooh, has he got to hand that back? He lost so much time, he doesn't need to bother. And there you see Lopez is back in the P5. Again, Lopez is in the position that he should have been in, really. He's in P6, he qualified, but look at that. What could have been done if he hadn't have had that grid drop? What do you think, D'Angelo?
If he hadn't had that grid drop, he would be in the contention for definitely a podium, but maybe the win.
You ran out of words.
Oh, as he dives into the pits.
Not only is there a dive, now Seafreeze looking around the outside on Double A. Double A not giving up, but he has to give it up because Seafreeze just committed to the outside and let the car roll straight through there. There was nothing he could have done. And now you see Brad.
Oh, he lost it!
A big accident there, and it's all over for the Canadian-Hungarian. tears will be
Seafreeze is
shed.
breathing a sigh of relief.
Seafreeze is thinking, wow, that accident could have been me if I'd been out there. And Renault...
Seafreeze is definitely glad he got the job done when he did.
Renault are going to be absolutely heartbroken, none more so, as you see Porridge now passing the wreckage of his teammate. And you got to think, wow, I'm quite disappointed, in fairness, because that was a race-long battle.
That dirty air coming out of that turn, it just screwed him over. Because he went wide and then he just picked up dirty air. As Hotbread goes wide and Lopez gets past him.
So Lopez, with the fastest tyres on the grid, I think he's going to be looking to taking away the fastest lap point, as I cannot for the life of me get my head out of qualifying right now.
He's definitely going for the... He does not have a lot of ERS saved up to use it, though. But will it be enough to get his car to the fastest lap?
Whoa, Gochu Guy's lost it. He's lost it at turn 2. He's spinning and he's caught the car. He has to be sure where's Zandamar. He reverses off the racing line, and luckily he's way out of the way of his teammate, and Porridge is coming through. This has just become a battle for P6.
But Go-To Guy's tires might be dead. Because he's on those mediums, but Porridge is on those hards, and the Porridge probably has a lot more grip left.
So Gochu Guy now is on the attack to try and get past Porridge. As I get a text from my friend, so I'm going to ignore that slightly. These drivers are doing incredibly well. We haven't seen many lockups this time now, as Badfast gets a time penalty now. And could that be affecting... Well, I don't know.
How many even, I think, out now?
I know Joe has one. I know that Be Good Fever has one. Be Good Fever has at least one. I believe he might be touching 2. But I tell you what, this has been a race that unfortunately has been a little bit dimmed down after Double A's accident. I'm sure Double A is going to be absolutely kicky himself right now.
Yes. He drove a great race, but he had to let Seafreeze by and was on his gearbox and went wide, and then you can't do anything from there. You're just going to lose it.
Lap 24.
TCR is getting close to his teammate.
He is. Will there be a swap of positions for the Williams? Don't know why I got McLaren from that.
Lopez does go fastest.
Well, he has flying his name, and he really is flying. Tell you what,
will he be able to catch up to Go-To and Porridge, though, is the question.
Well, they're about to start battling as well. That's the worst bit. So they're going to slow down horrendously with the battle that's coming. And Psycho-san stealing it back.
Fastest.
5 lap 1 tyres, though. Oh, there's a big lockup, though, for Gochu Guy, and that's it for that battle. And Lopez, who's flying right now, is looking to take away P7. He can still get P6 in this race, maybe even P5 if he's lucky.
I still think Zandermar will hold on to P5 unless Porridge just starts flying out of nowhere.
Well, here's our race leader. Is C3's championship leader is looking to extend his championship lead this time round, and from Joe Breezy, who was somewhat been gifted the second place by the accident that has cost Double A his race.
You just hate to see it. Like, you're leading the whole race, and then bang.
Yeah, it's just horrendous. I had a similar thing when I raced at Silverstone. My favourite Grand Prix track is Bega Fever. Definitely has 6 seconds now. I was racing at Silverstone back in my first full season racing. I had the pace to win the race, second place the whole way through, and accident under the virtual safety car between 2 drivers. Yeah. I wasn't a happy bunny.
I wouldn't be either, but Xander might inherit P4 if he stays within 5 seconds, or within 6 seconds. I don't know if he has a penalty, but I'm about to check.
Lion has actually just said to his teammate, in almost sign language of drivers, I'm faster than you, let me through. By the positioning of his car into turn 3. And I wonder what will be happening in the Williams camp. Will they swap them round? They have 9th and 10th right now, or will they be told to hold position?
But as I just read, Xandermar does not have any penalties at the moment. So if he stays clean, within 6 seconds, he will inherit P4.
What a brilliant look there for the Canadian. I believe he's Canadian, isn't he? As Lopez gets the time penalty in P8. I believe that's the story done. Good to go might have some. And Lion now
he does,
again.
He has one.
Lion on his teammate to the inside, still positioning his car, saying, "I'm faster, Hot Bread, get out of the way." I wonder if you could call Hot Bread toast.
It's a very interesting question.
It's also a terrible pun. DRS opening on the Williams as he charges towards the line, as always. And again, Hot Bread's not letting him through. He's not giving him an inch of room at all, is he?
No, he's not. He wants to keep them 2 points for himself.
And Lion, he wants to get through. And look at the position of his car here. Hot Bread is saying, no, you've got to go around the outside. And they do make contact.
Shutting the door.
And the Williams team, I wonder if they make contact once more, if they will be told to calm down in this race. But I don't know. It's Joe Breezy. Ooh.
This is interesting now.
That's second place gone if it stays like this. I don't think Badfast has 6 seconds. That's 26 out of 29 as we're heading towards the end of the race, the last few laps. And right now we're looking at 9th and 10th. The Williams drivers charging the 69 car versus the, I believe, 15 or 14? Yeah, number 14 of Hot Bread.
Badfast only has 1 penalty.
And Joe Breezy, we know, has 2. And the Williams even closer together. Now DRS opening on the number 69 car as he pulls to the outside. Has his teammate been instructed to let him through? He has not. A big shot there. And the Williams collide. And Hot Bread has been removed out of the points by GCR's impatience.
He just runs into the barrier.
Oh, he's had enough. He's not happy, is he? There's going to be a fight in a minute.
Not.
And right now it's going to get very physical.
He can't catch up to Roll, which Roll is now catching up to Lion.
I wonder if Lion's trying to slow down to repeat his teammate, but he did just turn in and just had no care in the world for where his teammate was there. And heartbreaking to see the 2 Williams collide, as Williams is my favourite team in Formula 1, barring McLaren. So looking now at Go-To guys, his tyres are starting to struggle. 16 laps on the medium tyres. Yeah, I think they're going to be a little bit more second hand by the time they get to the end. As Jermaine leaves the session in after DNFing earlier on in the Grand Prix. What a strategic Grand Prix. It's been quite insightful, hasn't it, to watch D'Angelo?
It's been very insightful to watch because you can basically see how they're thinking. Like if they're mad, they're either going to crash or they're just going to run into somebody, and then because I believe Double A as soon as he got passed by C Freeze, he just got
Flustered.
He got angry with himself, I believe.
It looked like he got very he looked like he had to compose himself a bit, and he didn't have time to do that because of the nature of that corner, and it ended in the barrier and a very expensive repair job to Renault. Still, onto the penultimate lap of the race, and we're looking at Lopez attacking Go-To guy in the rear. Again, another one of my quotes, which is fantastic. He's going to have it
on the outside,
but he's got that penalty. And again, it shows the nature of this track. It's fantastic to let drivers through. I still agree with the fact that Bahrain should open up the season in Formula 1 rather than Australia. But this track has produced some fantastic racing here tonight, and I really hope you've enjoyed it.
As Breezy is still trying to increase the gap between him and Bad. Bad only has 1 penalty.
And Breezy has 2.
Gijo's doing his job to keep that gap 3 seconds.
I don't think this is going to end where Breezy wants to be. I think he's going to be back on the 3rd spot on the podium due to that penalty. But we are finally onto the final lap of the race and now on board with C Freeze as he comes through. No real battles on track, barring Go-To guy catching Lopez. And C Freeze knows that he can take it easy now. He can rest the tyres and just take his 2nd win of the season. His 2nd win in as many races. We'll follow him through to see if there's any little mistakes. He's not going for the fastest lap though, is he? At this point, D'Angelo, he knows he's won this race if he doesn't mess up.
Yes, he's won this race, but Gijo is flying at the moment, trying to increase this gap between him and Bad. Because if Gijo doesn't finish with 3 seconds in the gap, he finishes third. Because Bad has 1 penalty, but Gijo has 2.
It's close. It's really going to be close between those two. But, oh, that's the wrong button. Do excuse me for that. They've got to change that.
Bad needs to increase his ERS now. Otherwise, he's not going to be able to get second.
On ball with C3 as he comes through the final couple of corners, though, on the stream. Looking very composed. He's going to feel incredibly sorry for AA, but right now he doesn't care. Because in as many races, C3 is going to win his second of the season. Back-to-back wins. Hotbread the fastest man on track in P12. But C3's wins in Australia. Right now, it's going to be Breezy in P2. I think Badfast might have run out of tyres right at the end, but he does finish in P3 with 3 tenths to spare. What a race. And Lopez, he pushed just 9, I think, for Lopez. It's 9 seconds.
That's probably going to go to P7.
Lopez, after a difficult race in qualifying, is in P7. P8 now.
Yes.
Take the 2 yellow flags. I think that's Hotbread. Yeah, Hotbread's had a spin.
Hotbread.
I roll crossing the line in P10. Lion, after making contact with his teammate, is in P9. Mr. Psycho Sound will finish in P11. And Hotbread will finish in P12 once he finishes the race. But that was a phenomenal Grand Prix, wasn't it?
It was a very good Grand Prix. You have to feel for AA, but this is racing. You push till you win, you push till you crash. That's all I have to say.
Podium or DNF? He was shouting that.
Podium to DNF, you say what?
I think, one second, several brain things just happened at once there. I think what AA was shouting was, I'm going to win this race or I'm going to DNF, and unfortunately it was the latter rather than winning the race.
Yes. Because he got an excellent start off the grid, and he led the race, but as soon as C-Freeze overtook him, he was trying to compose himself like you said earlier, and he was done. So, here are our podium sitters. It is going to be Toro Rosso taking their second win of the season with the same driver. It is C-Freeze and an All-American podium tonight. The Italian team taking their second win ahead of the McLaren of the reigning champion, Joe Breezy. He's still there in P2. He's still looking to play in this championship ahead of Badfast in P3. We'll have a chat with him at the end, in the post-race commentary session that will be happening will be recorded and released on Friday. I don't know if you've had a look at that yet, D'Angelo, as I can't remember who you were. Nope, but with Seafreeze with the big win, but bunch of good results for a bunch of people who started it towards the back.
Most definitely. We'll run through the results one more time because we can. Seafreeze is in P1 ahead of Breezy in P2. Badfast is in P3. Xandamar is in P4. Bigo Fever is in P5. Porridge is in P6. And Go To Guy, the last of the Canadians in this row, is in P7. Lopez was in P8. And Lion, after making contact with his teammate, is still in P9. Iroh finishing out the race in the top 10. With gathering the last point of the racing point. Mr. Psycho-san and Hotbread were the final 2 finishers outside of the points. AA, Fatal, Talon, Jermaine, and Giant Johnson Alex did not make it to the flag. And relax. That was a thrilling Grand Prix. I really enjoyed commentating on that with you, D'Angelo.
Yeah, it was very fun. Glad to see a third good race for TCR as a whole here at Australia this week.
So we're going to leave the session and just have a little chat about what we saw in that race. I'm just going to now go on to highlight the Toro Rosso. Again, as we saw last week, it's a new thing I'm doing to highlight the cars, the winning car at the end of the race. But nonetheless, it really was a commanding drive from C-Freeze once he got into the top two. Sorry, into the top position. He couldn't be challenged by anyone other than AA today, do you think?
No, it's just both of them, him and Double A had the pace throughout the whole race. They just kept building a gap. Even after their pit stop, they just kept building a gap until Seafreeze overtook, and then Double A unfortunately crashed out. It was going to be a great race-long battle for the win.
Well, I believe we're at Silverstone next time we're live on TCR, aren't we?
We are, I think.
We are. Round 3, I believe, is at Silverstone. But until then, I believe it's goodbye time for us. So, thank you, D'Angelo, for joining me in replacement of Dre. And may Dre stay sick forever so I can have you. No, we wish Dre the best of luck getting better. But yeah, you never want someone to be sick when you're meant to be doing commentary. I've done commentary when sick, and it's not an interesting conversation. I had no voice at one point, and it was very interesting.
That's fun.
Yeah, it is. So, what's happening next in TCR? Well, you have to keep an eye on the website if you want to know what's happening next. I believe we're off to Silverstone next time we're streaming. But thank you, D'Angelo, for joining us on commentary. My name is JB. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time for TCR. Make sure you check out that link for any interest in Fanatec that will be posted in the description of the stream at the end of the once it's uploaded and processed. Thank you to the people who maintain the whole of TCR for us. As always, we couldn't go racing without the admins or the people that make this league great. So, any final words before we go?
All I have to say is you have to feel, again, for Double A, drove a great race, but it's racing, but it was a great race, and hopefully, which you were wrong, it's actually Belgium next week.
Spa.
So, it'll be a very interesting race at a very fast circuit, so it'll be very fun to watch.
Well, we will see you next time at the Belgian Grand Prix. Have a very good week, and we'll see you next time. Ta-ra, guys!
Bye.